Hello everybody, my name is Robert and welcome to my short video about the UK and the European Union and Brexit.
A beginning of another stage in the construction of a new and a greater united Europe. Britain in Europe. Britain without Europe would be both weaker and less prosperous.
Britain shall remain a member of the European community.
We find our problems are common and we try to get common solutions to them.
We have not successfully rolled back the frontiers of the state in Britain, only to see them reimposed at a European level.
He wanted the Commission to be the executive and he wanted the Council of Ministers to be the Senate. No, no, no.
We're leaving Downing Street for the last time.
Britain's best interests are served by suspending our membership of the exchange rate mechanism.
Parliament must put this stalemate over Europe behind it.
Britain is in Europe, and in Europe to stay.
Well, we've got a full manifesto, but what we're saying is that Europe is the key.
We should keep the pound. Here it is. This is what is at stake.
Instead of talking about the things that most people care about, we were sometimes banging on about Europe.
You have the charisma of a damp rag and the appearance of a low-grade bank clerk.
We will give the British people a referendum.
I will be advocating vote leave. It's about taking back control of our democracy.
We will win together, fight together, keep Britain in a European Union.
A leave victory, an extraordinary moment in British history.
Huzzah! Independence Day!
I think the country requires fresh leadership.
Strong and stable leadership in the national interest.
I had a robust discussion with Jean-Claude Juncker. This is the best possible deal. It's the only possible deal.
The noes to the left, 432.
To serve the country I love.
The doubters, the doomsters, they are going to get it wrong again.
We have a deal.
There must now be an election.
A large Conservative majority.
I urge everyone to find closure and to let the healing begin.
Now I will give you a summary of the UK history after that you will learn how Brexit works. Also what happened since Brexit, and then I will give you an outlook of the whole video. Okay, first I will give you a summary of the history of the UK and European Union relations. To understand this relationship and Brexit, it is worth at the history of Great Britain. By the 19th century, the British Empire has become a world power with colonies in Africa, America, Asia and Latin America. Splendid isolation was the description of Britain for region politics mainly until World War II. They kept away from European affairs and were concerned about their independence. This changed in the 1960s. The economic and political status of the country had become smaller, and at the same time the influence of the European Community, EC, was bigger. Finally, in 1973, Great Britain joined the European Community. In conclusion of the Great Britain, the European Union was mainly an important economic market. The fact that member states had to adhere to common rules and laws contradicted the point of view of the former world power and the sovereignty of the British Parliament. Therefore, Great Britain claimed a special role in the European Union. Here are some examples. Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher negotiated the UK rebate in 1984. This is a financial mechanism that reduces the UK's contribution to the EU budget. They were the second biggest net contributor after Germany. Great Britain didn't sign the Schengen Treaty, which abolished border controls between member states on 14th June 1985. Great Britain is among those member states which did not introduce the euro. Next I will explain you Brexit. Brexit is short for Britain and exit. It describes the process of Britain's withdrawal from the European Union. A short timeline. In 2016, Conservative Prime Minister David Cameron held a referendum about whether to leave the European Union or not. Nearly 52% of people voted to leave. Cameron resignated his leadership after the referendum. On 18th June of 2016, Theresa May became Prime Minister. An important task of her term in office is to lead the UK out of the European Union. To this end, she announced in January 2017 that her country would leave the common market. On 29th March 2017, the Britain government officially applied to leave the European Union. In the early elections of the House of Commons on 8th June 2017, however, Theresa May lost her absolute majority. The withdrawal agreement with the European Union negotiated by Theresa May was rejected 3 times by the British House of Commons. Therefore, Britain must leave the European Union by 31st October 2019. On the 31st of January 2020, Great Britain officially left the European Union after a very difficult negotiating period with Boris Johnson. A new trade deal with the European Union was agreed upon and came into effect on the 1st January 2021. Now I will come to the possible pros and cons from the British people perspective. The leavers gave a reason about the membership fee. UK would save £8.5 billion per year. The Remainers said instead that the membership brings investments into the country. UK should install own trade agreements with other countries, for example, USA and Australia. But more than 50% of Britain's export goes to the European Union. Britain will lose its influence on EU trade regulations. Britain will be more attractive for the finance industry in London without the European Union. British market is too small to attract investments from big companies. They cannot access the European market. Many companies will leave Britain. EU membership weakens the British Parliament since laws are made in Brussels and not in London. British government can still influence European lawmaking in Brussels. Uncontrolled immigration from the European Union. Workers from the European Union are needed. There might be a shortage of labor. Police and intelligence agencies of the European Union exchange information and work together. Okay, I said very much, but now I give you a short documentary from BBC News where it's about from the tradings in people's work life. I hope you enjoy it, and we will see us after the video.
Warmed under LED lights, millions of flowers from this Dutch grower go to Britain each year. Extra paperwork after Brexit has meant extra costs. More checks are coming, but there's no stopping them here.
Get out of the way. The UK is an important market for us, and when we stop exporting to UK, we lose about 30% of our market. So we cannot sell that flowers to other places. So and we don't want to, because the English people are flower-minded.
At an onion factory, this batch is off to Honduras. First, a thorough physical inspection. UK-bound produce will also face new controls delayed by the British government.
From 2022, we expect that we have to do physical inspections on the onions, which gives us also more paperwork.
And what will this mean for your business?
The customers now, they know the flexibility of the Dutch onion pack houses, and they ordered, for example, 11 o'clock this morning, and the truck will leave around 3 o'clock. If between 11 and 3 you have to pack it and you have to order an agent to do the physical check, that's quite challenging.
COVID has of course disrupted global trade, but this firm is also committed to the UK market.
This company exports onions to 75 countries across the world. They are used to dealing with checks and paperwork. For smaller firms, it can be a different picture.
Kind of hard for especially small businesses, small SMEs. They usually sell and export within the European Union and do not have to do any customs declarations, customs formalities. So now they figure they have to, they're involved with this for the first time. And that is kind of a problem.
Just move your finger around and it'll follow you.
Edith makes experience tables. They're used in libraries and elderly care homes to help people with dementia. She says exporting to Britain was a dream come true, but now plans to do so less.
I'm not totally convinced that I will conquer all those extra difficulties that will come for us to export to the UK because of the extra rules, because of the customs rules and all the extra forms you have to fill in.
Businesses must choose their markets, and a fuller picture will take time to emerge. Brexit is still in motion.
Right here. Now, there has been a disruption trade due to new border rules. However, the impact of supply chain problems is difficult to distinguish from that of the coronavirus pandemic. For example, there has been a lack of lorry drivers. As a consequence, many shelves have been empty in supermarkets. Also, people could not fill up their cars with petrol for some time. EU nationals already living in the UK and Britain's residents on the continent have the right to remain. European Union and United Kingdom relations have continued to be strained. They have clashed over several issues. For example, coronavirus vaccine exports. AstraZeneca, or the arrangements for Northern Ireland. There have been tensions between the British and the French regarding overfishing permits and migration across the English Channel. And not but least, Scotland wants another independence referendum. During the Brexit referendum, 62% voted to remain. So, you hopefully learned very much about the UK's history and how it became a European Union member, how it left within a short timeline. The interesting arguments of the levers tradings in a normal work life and a summary of the developments today. However, the economic and political impacts of the Brexit are still unclear. The overall picture is blurred due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing supply chain problems. The country is no longer a superpower, but a key player in the whole world. This was UK and EU. I hope you enjoyed my first video and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye! Oh. Ich muss echt mal wieder zurück nach Großbritannien, um Englisch wieder zu lernen, ne? Oder immer mal wieder Englisch zu reden. Komischerweise in der englischen Sprache stottere ich auch viel weniger. Ist dir das schon mal aufgefallen?
Was machst du?
Dass ich immer in England bin und mit Harriet und Paul oder so oder mit Strap immer fließend Englisch rede, ja. Ich gehöre hier nicht nach Deutschland.
Ja, das ist ganz witzig, fließend. Gell?
Ja, fließend. Warum bin ich hier eigentlich in Deutschland?
Das stimmt. Fließend. Fließend, Robert. Gell?
Ja.
Einfach mal ein bisschen locker machen.
Ich bin hier wirklich im komplett falschen Land.